WMAL Radio. Listen right now.
Impact segment tonight, a massive security force in place to keep things under control in Washington. Up to 2 million people, as I said, are expected at the inauguration. But will authorities be able to handle the record-breaking crowds? Joining us now from D.C., radio talk show host Chris Plante on WMAL, and Nia Malika Henderson, the White House reporter for Politico.com. Ms. Henderson, begin with you. I wanted you and Mr. Plante on the program tonight because you guys are Washingtonians. You live there all year round. Have you seen anything so far, Ms. Henderson, that has given you pause or raise your eyebrows a little, go, whoa, this might not work out?
You know, not so far, but I mean, keep in mind that it's very early. I mean, we're expecting, obviously, like you said, these record crowd of 2 million, could be 3 or 4 million. Nobody knows yet. It's going to depend on the weather. I mean, so far, I mean, traffic is you know, a bother. There are lots of buses around, and obviously a huge crowd out there today for this initial event. So yeah, I mean, it seems like so far so good, but it's yet to be determined.
All right, now, Mr. Plante, all the hotel rooms are booked for miles around, although they didn't get the big bucks that some people were going to rent out their apartments, so it didn't happen. But there are a lot of people in the streets all over the place, well-behaved so far, we understand, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I was down on the Mall this afternoon for the big band concert, and everything seems to be under control. Now, in terms of security, I saw a P-3 Orion, a Navy surveillance plane, airborne over the city today, helicopters, military and police. There were military Humvees out on the street and soldiers up and down the street. There are FBI SWAT teams on the roofs of vehicles, crash vehicles, around the foot of the Washington Monument. But a lot of people are going to be scared away by all of this. And
I was.
I know
I'll tell you what, I didn't go down there precisely for that reason, that it's such a zoo. And, you know, I mean, I got a tough enough time walking around when it isn't a zoo. And now,
I know people.
Go ahead.
I know people that came into Washington for the events and are staying with relatives and have decided they're going to stay home and watch it on television because of everything they're hearing.
Okay,
and,
now,
you know, and they've also cracked down on prostitution downtown. At least until January
really?
25th.
Well, what are the Congress people going to do? Come
downtown,
on.
it's a prostitution-free zone, but only until the 25th, and at that point, members of Congress can return.
Listen, I mean, now you're telling me the recession is going to hit the prostitution industry? This is ridiculous.
They're anti-business.
Nothing is off limits.
Ms. Henderson, the subways are a big concern. The Metro in D.C., very fine system, by the way. Maybe overtaxed. Obviously, that's a place where chaos could happen. What's going on with that?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, these subways, I think, are designed to cover or to carry about 120,000 folks per hour. And I think their largest capacity was something like 800,000. And here, I mean, we're going to see 2 million. So it could be chaos. I mean, today it wasn't so bad, but again, we don't know what's going to happen.
Now, have you ridden the subway in the last couple of days? I mean, is there anything down there that has changed?
Well, you know, I mean, what's changed is, I mean, there is obviously more people on the subways. I mean, there is some, you know, kind of added, crowds. I mean, some added security presence. I mean, more kind of announcements about leaving your bags and things like that, and obviously more announcements about how it's going to be on Tuesday.
How about you, Chris? Have you been down there?
Well, I have, and yeah, there is an increased presence, and there's an increased presence of everything in town. You know, they've got sniffers set up looking for chemical and biological agents in the air. You're not allowed to bring your stroller onto the mall. You can't ride a Segway down to the mall.
Let's take them one at a time. No stroller on the mall for babies because they could hide stuff underneath the baby, right?
Well, or, you know, things in the pipes, you know, the old exploding stroller trick. But they have made an exception for people getting downtown because they expect the subways to be jammed, so they're allowing taxi cabs and limousines to come into the zone. So they're making an exception for large cars driven by foreign-born Muslim men.
Now, you got a lot of, you know, you go down to Washington and you get a United Nations of cab drivers, but it's not as bad as there is in New York. So both of you then, you're telling me you're comfortable thus far that authorities in Washington haven't locked. Like, see, I'm not so worried about Barack Obama because Obama's detail, and I know this firsthand, is very buttoned down. I mean, he's not going to be, you'll see him, but you won't see a lot of them. The big thing there is inaugural parade after the address. That's the big thing with Obama. Everything else is pretty locked down, pretty much tight. They have it controlled. But it's the metro and it's the other things where if somebody wanted to cause problems, you know, it's a situation where this is a target because this is such a good thing for America, and our enemies don't want any good things. I'll give you the last word, Ms. Henderson.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think, you know, the 240,000 folks who are going to, you know, get those prime seats are going to go through, you know, metal detectors.
We don't have to worry about them. They're not going to be the ones we have to worry about. We have to worry about...
It's going to be easier to get in and out of the green zone in Baghdad than it's going to be to get in and out of the mall in Washington.
Right. But
that's true.
But it's going to be very easy to ride the subway, and it's going to be easy to get on the inaugural route. So those are the two things that if I'm a security guy, I'm a little bit worried about both of those. But we all pray that this thing goes off nice. Everybody has a great time, and we show the world what kind of country we are. Ms. Henderson, Mr. Plante, pleasure. Thank you. Plenty more ahead as a factor. Continues, I should say, this special edition. Will Barack Obama's presidency bring an end